Are you a sucker for dating financially unstable partners? Is it time for you to break free from your financial baggage? Well, if you've ever asked yourself, why do I always end up with someone who's such a financial mess? Or how can I spot these red flags early on? You're in the right place. Welcome back to Money Ripples, where we talk about ways to create freedom in your life through passive income.
Passive income, the American dream.
My name is Chris Miles. I want to just dive right into the answers you need to transform your dating life and build stronger, financially sound relationships.
Listen to me very carefully. Stop dating financially unstable people. You are not Bob the Builder. Can we fix them? No, we can't. Sex and money consistently rank as the top 2 reasons why couples fight. And money said, I'm top 2 and I'm not 2. Why would you want to build the foundation of your house on uneven ground and then worse, get the government involved so that you're legally bound together? And I'm not saying you should only date rich people. But to be financially stable, you do need to have a plan, and you definitely need to have the talk. Because if you wait until after you're married to ask, do you have debt or what's your net worth, you're making a huge mistake. And if someone's financial goals don't align with yours, they're probably not a good match.
So I like what she says. There's green flags and red flags. What are the questions you ask and what are the things to watch out for? I'm gonna talk about my own impression of what that is too. It's not always what's your financial net worth. That's one question to ask, but I think there's a lot more you can actually ask that's on a deeper level than just the numbers.
How long have you guys been together?
It's almost 5 years.
I'm just upset at the debt. That's going to impact your guys' future together. It's going to prevent you from doing a marriage that you might want to do. It's going to prevent you guys from retiring together. It's going to prevent you guys from paying the bills.
Yeah.
I want you to move
Okay.
and let her come in. You guys are not married. We don't have combined finances and everything like that. But being together for 5 years screams, okay, there's a potential future. How worried are you about all this?
I knew he spent more money than he should, but to this extent, no, I didn't know. But I do know he does have the discipline to pick himself out of this hole he's created.
Okay. What do you think this situation means for your guys' future as a couple? This is going to take a lot for him to dig out of, a lot of sacrifice and work.
No, I understand. And until then, we're going to stay as boyfriend, girlfriend, I'm not planning on sharing finances if this is still going on.
Interesting, notice what she said. I'm not planning to really fully commit until he gets his crap handled. I think that's wise from her standpoint. I know she loves him and obviously she respects him. She even thinks he has the discipline to make it out. But she does say if he doesn't make changes, she's not committing. She's not making this a long-term thing. Good on her. All right, so if you're dating someone, how do you have this conversation? How's it essential? You want to definitely make sure you have this conversation before you get married. Well, how about this clip where it's one day before they get married?
Obviously, we had a conversation. How do you feel about it?
I guess I feel like I don't know if I can trust you.
With what exactly?
With the credit card stuff, because I've asked you about that before. I'm like, why wouldn't he have said that before? And I'm like, I asked you that. Why don't you have any credit cards? You can get points. And you're like, oh, I used them in college and, I just got rid of them. Like that. And then in the pods talking about finances and debt, is there anything I need to know? And you're like, absolutely not. I feel like that wasn't totally truthful. I tell you everything.
I would not tell you. I wanted to lay everything out there once we actually sat down and talked versus times it's kind of brought up. It was just kind of on whim, if we're just I don't know, walking around, cooking around.
Your wedding's tomorrow.
I didn't
Hello.
feel like we're sitting
When's that
down
time?
and have the formal all right, let's just throw it all out there kind of thing. And for me, I wanted to have this conversation very formal because I knew it was going to be long. So definitely not hiding anything from you or trying to hide anything from you, because if that were the case, then I would have tried to just bullshit it and sweep it under the rug as much as I possibly could. And that's why I just wanted to come to you.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk about this, how do you approach this conversation, especially if you're the one with all of this debt, or maybe just something's not right in your finances, or it's just not impressive in some way, shape, or form. Because you can understand that he's conflicted here. He's like, well, I was trying to find the right time and moment, and it does need to be more of a formal sit down. I agree with that. I think you have to have the right time, the right opportunity to do that. Just do it early as you can, right? So I'll give you two examples here. One was actually a client of mine where she told me, she's like, Chris, we opened up all her finances and I could see she has $100,000 of credit card debt, mostly from going to like personal development type of events and things like that, like trying to build her own thing. Well, that cost her $100,000 because whatever thing was pitched at her, she bought. Her husband, who was a hardworking firefighter, knew nothing about it. She had done all of this in her name, but it was dragging down their finances unbeknownst to him. So of course, this became a big issue. I asked her, I said, listen, have you ever talked to him about this? No, he has no clue this happens. What would happen if you actually started bringing this up? Like just aired it out, got it out in the open? She said, I don't know. He would be so mad with me because he has no clue this is going on. Well, at what point do you think he needs to know about this? So eventually she did. She brought the topic up with him. He was not pleased at all. He was pretty much almost speechless, needless to say. But it didn't destroy their marriage, right? I mean, they had been married for 30 years already at that point. Didn't destroy their marriage at all. But it created a lot of trust issues, as it should, because the longer you go without communicating something like this, how can your other partner trust you? And that's what happened there. And so eventually we created a game plan and strategy. That's why she hired us to help pay that all back. And we eventually got to the point where she had just, even after just a year, had paid back most of that credit card debt, drastically freeing up a lot of money every single month, getting themselves in a much better place. Now, this whole thing, I've understood it before too, because I've had ups and downs in my financial journey. If you've watched enough of my videos or even listened to our Money Ripples podcast, you'll know that I'm very open talking about how I went broke, not just picking up change like in 2004 when I was out picking up change, but even in 2007, 8, 9, where I went almost completely broke, went over $1 million in debt and had to dig out of that hole. Well, as time went on, as I was starting to dig out of that hole, I hadn't become debt-free by 2015, but I was going through a divorce. And if any of you have been through a divorce, you know that is not a good financial plan, okay? That's where you lose half of everything. And pretty much I had almost nothing left. I had given almost everything to the ex-wife and the kids. Anything I had, very little that was there, went to them. I took on all the debt. So I left my ex-wife with no debt and paid child support while I took on all the debt. Well, as I'm dating my now wife, as I was dating her, she said, hey, I need to see the finances. Now, she was not afraid of bringing up that topic. She was not going to skirt around it. She wanted to know. She's like, I need to know what your finances are like. So I brought up our cash flow optimizer spreadsheet that we teach our clients how to use. I brought up the spreadsheet. I showed her everything, including the balance sheet. Needless to say, she flipped out. Okay, she was freaking out because she said, oh my gosh, you've got hundreds of thousands of debt still. Yeah, but I was like, but if you saw where I was before, I was over $1 million in debt. So this is awesome. She's like, no, I don't have this kind of debt. I'm the one that's the saver here. You have almost really no savings. You have all this debt. What are you gonna do? And so it opened up a conversation. I gave her my game plan of what I was doing, how I was paying those debts off, and how I was creating it. The cool thing is, of course, like I was starting to see an uptick in my income at that same time. So things started to really improve in my business, which also helped improve my personal finances. And from there, things were much, much better. Long story short, it's almost 2 years later, end of 2016. Not only have I paid off those debts, but I'm also at a point where I have enough passive income to not have to keep working. All right. So there's hope for you as well. All progress, all truth, everything that's good in your life begins with honesty. Be honest with yourself, be honest with your partner, because that is so essential to making your life become better.
Honesty is best.
By the way, speaking of effective communication, you can also schedule a call with us and we can discuss how we can help you reach your financial freedom, which the link is in the description below. Okay, so if you're worried about your partner, you're dating, things are getting serious, what are those questions you should be asking? Well, here's 3 questions you can actually use to really help, some ways subtly, if not bluntly, find out what's going on with your partner. So here's the first question I would ask. It's much more subtle. Is this. Ask them, if all of a sudden you were given $100,000 today, what would you do with that money? And listen for the response. Now, if they said, of course, they were going to spend it, and live life, you already know they're a spender, and that could be a dangerous sign. Not saying that spenders aren't livable, but that could lead to more debt. That could lead to some of these other follow-up questions. But they say, oh, I put it in savings, I don't know what to do with it. That could be the opposite extreme. They could be a hoarder, like a financial hoarder, where they're so scared, they just pile up money. But it could very easily be a kind of life that you live where they never ever want to spend money, they never want to enjoy it. And if you're a person that actually likes to enjoy your life, this could be a big red flag. Now, if you're the extreme spender over here and they're the extreme saver, you kind of need each other, but you'll create a lot of friction in your relationship. I can guarantee you that. Now, if they said, you know what, I probably would put a little bit here, and I put a little bit here, and I might even like do some over here and here. And it's more about like how to make the most of the money and how to invest it or use it to maybe build a business or whatever it might be. Then that might be what I refer to as a steward, which is a much better happy medium between these two scarcity paradigms of spender and saver. The next question is, and this is a question for yourself, is do they tend to hide certain things about their finances with you? Do they not want to really be open about it? Now, I get it when you're first dating. It's very possible if someone does make a lot of money initially because they don't want you just to date them or like them for their financial situation or their money, right? But as time goes on, you guys get more serious. If they're still holding that close to their chest and they still don't want to talk to you about anything with their financial situation, especially when you ask about it, that's a red flag. And the third question is just come right out and ask, like, open up your finances. Show me your net worth. Show me your what they call a balance sheet, right? Which is show me your assets, show me your liabilities, your loans and everything. If we're gonna make this work together, we're gonna combine our forces and join forces like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers or whatever. If we're gonna be doing that, we need to see where we're at financially. What needs to be addressed? What kind of goals can we run together to have goals financially speaking? It could be something very small. It could be something as simple as saving for a vacation together, or it could be something as big as like, hey, how are we gonna save for this wedding together? If we're gonna actually get married, what should we be doing here? It might be as big as that conversation. It could be something that's like, what are we gonna do to help join forces to help ourselves have a great life, right? It's interesting that many of these people will talk about, either credit cards or retirement, but there's this whole other gap in between. What are other goals that you have? Ask them, what are your financial goals? What is it you want your life to look like? Make sure that you guys mesh together on this, right? That your goals kind of align. It's okay if they have their own goals. It's okay if you have your own goals too. But you also want to make sure that you have some big vision goals that move together in the same direction. Because if all of a sudden they're saying like, hey, I want to eventually move to Thailand, and you're like, I don't want to leave the city. I don't want to leave anywhere in the US. That could be a deal breaker, right? Because that means one person's gonna have to give in. Now, if someone says, oh, that'd be cool, but I'm not sold on it, that's okay. But you wanna make sure that, again, your financial goals and your vision of what you see in the future runs together. Maybe even ask them like, hey, what do you wanna do after retirement? It could be before. Kids is a big one. How do we manage the kids? But also going into retirement. What would you wanna do in retirement? What's kind of the image or what things that you'd want to do? Because maybe you want to go to some third world country and start serving and do mission trips, but maybe they're saying, no, I want to just go and live on, be on a boat and just cruise around, and I hate mission trips. If that's the case, this may not work, right? But if you guys have some of those similar views and you have those similar passions and visions that work together, that's great. So you want to make sure that you guys are all on the same page, that you guys are moving forward in the right direction together so that you can live a happy life and live the life of your dreams. As I mentioned before, a common question we get asked is, should we combine our finances or keep them separate? Well, check out this next video where I address that very situation because it might be something in the middle. Are you worried that your spouse or your partner might be financially cheating on you? If that's the case, there's 3 questions you could be asking them. Here's one big one. If $100,000 dropped on their lap today, ask them this question. If $100,000 dropped on their lap today, what would they do with that money? And wait for the answer. Are they gonna blow it? Are they gonna just pack it away and save it out of being scared? Or are they gonna do something wise with it? That's a great question to ask. And there's 2 other questions you should be asking as well. Click on the link below to find out what those are.